about you? I'm Hank. Welcome to Hamiltonville Farm. Today we're comparing chainsaws, but I'm waiting on my buddy Brandel. As soon as he gets here, we'll start. Hey, he's here. So Brandel's coming up. So what we're going to do, just pull on around, circle around. So what we're going to do is we've got a couple chainsaws from him. I got a couple set up already, and we're going to just tell you the differences between the chainsaws that we have between Hamiltonville Farm and over at Tinker Tractor Welder Mechanics channel, all the chainsaws that he's got as well. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Brandel, what'd you bring with us?
All right, so we got a few saws. So we got us a nice little top handle here.
All right.
We got us a Stihl MS661.
All right.
We've got us an Echo CS620P. And then the Crocodile Dundee moment, that's not a chainsaw, that's a chainsaw.
Yeah.
The Stihl MS661.
Right on. Yeah, and I've got the Stihl MS290, the 291 over here, and then the Husqvarna 435.
Okay.
So we'll drill down on all these and see what we like about each one and what some things that maybe the homeowner and rancher, small homeowner, small landowner, things like that, they can consider when they're making their decisions.
See what the differences are.
Yeah, right on. All right, before we get into the comparison, we're going to talk about a lot of chainsaws, but this is a video for the homeowner, rancher, non-commercial, non-professional guy. So if me and Brandel were talking, if you need to cut a piece of wood at 11 seconds or 11.7 seconds, this is not your video.
Not it at all.
This is for the dude that's going to cut trees, once a month, or firewood, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of basics of chainsaw type.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's start the comparisons. We got all these saws set out, and we're going to go over just some of the specifics, some of the pricing, the size, some of the bar length, stuff like that, just to give you a better idea, a better understanding. We don't have any, you know what, I wish we would have had some type of battery or cordless to compare with, but all we've got is gas powered chainsaws in this video.
We're just in the Stone Age.
We're still in the Stone Age, But so what we're going to do is Brandel's going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to work our way from our left to right, your right to left on the screen. And so we'll start with this little top handle Echo down here.
We've got the Echo CS2511T here. It's a top handle saw. Basically, this saw would be used for like small trimming, for being in a tree if you're a professional tree service person, something like that. I really like this because Echo touts this as being the lightest saw to power to weight ratio. And I mean, you can just use this one-handed, which you're not supposed to use one-handed. You're supposed to use two-handed. However, I break the rules. I use it one-handed, but I always make sure to kind of keep it away from my body. I use this, I can use it all day. Some of the cool features about this with the oil and gas caps, they're twist caps, but what I think is neat about it is the actual pull rope here is going to act as a wrench that you can take the caps on and off with. So that's pretty cool. It does have a fuel primer button. So I know a lot of people maybe are down on the fuel primers, but I like that so that you can just prime it up a little bit. Another really cool feature about this saw is it's got a captured nut. That's a very, I guess, professional feature, quote unquote. So when you're taking the side cover off to access the chain, you don't lose your bar nut. This saw has a 12-inch bar with it. It can run a 14-inch as well. Right now it's got the 3/8 low profile chain. It's 3/8 050. That's going to be the standard chain. I know a lot of people switch it to a 1/4-inch Pico chain, so that's maybe an option. And this saw, for the size, it's a fairly expensive saw. It's about $390, but to me, it's very much worth it. Just like I say, for the maneuverability, when you're out in the yard, you've got a broken limb or something, you can just use it to cut easy.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. Let's start talking about this Husqvarna. Yeah, as we make our way on down the road here, we're going to talk about the Husqvarna 435. Now, this is the X-Torque model. I've had this one for several years now. A couple of things I like about this particular chainsaw is I like the fact that the stop button is a push down. Now, you'll see other models where you have to stop the chainsaw engine from running by pressing or pulling up. Well, this is kind of intuitive to me, where you can just press down and it stops the engine. Again, it's pull start. It's got a fuel primer bulb on it, like Brando was talking about with the Echo here. You're looking at it comes standard with a 16-inch bar. You can put a 18-inch bar up on it. Now, something I wanted to, we were talking about this earlier. Look how loose that chain is, right? It does have the ability to adjust the chain, obviously. But this is something I wanted to show you. There's a technique that you can actually use to shorten chains if your chain gets a lot of slack in it. And
really, Hank?
Brandel has actually made a video on how to shorten your chain on his channel, Tinker Tractor Welder Mechanic, and I'll put the link of it to it over there. But anyway, this is about, I think I give like $275 for it. It's 2.2 horsepower, weighs in about just a tick over 11 pounds, not quite 12 pounds, so it's comfortable. It's got your adjustments on the your carb adjustments on the side here. I've really been pleased with this particular saw. It's done a lot of good work for me. I've switched to the 18-inch bar, and I've been able to cut down, you know, bigger trees and stuff. In this 75 acres that we got, the 18-inch bar really comes in handy. So now we're going to move on to the next Stihl that we're going to talk about, and Brandel's going to take over from here.
What we have here is the MS661 CM. This machine is actually the M-tronic version. Both of my Stihl saws are the M-tronic electronic version, carbureted. The nice thing about this is a professional saw, quote unquote. So it's got magnesium housings, it's got magnesium side clutch cover housing here. Some of the other pro features are going to be a decompression valve up here. It's going to have an adjustable oiler here as well, so you can adjust your flow rate of oil. This saw is 50.2 cc. It's 4 horsepower, so it's and it weighs 10.8 pounds, so it's a good amount of power in a small package. The saw comes standard with an 18 or a 20-inch bar with 325 chain. I've actually put a 16-inch lightweight bar on it with 3/8 chain. I used a shorter bar for the bigger chain, and I did that so that all my big saws can all run the same thing. This is a good saw, like Hank said. This one turns off on the up switch, and I like the Stihl, I like the M-tronics because to start it, it's only got 3 buttons. There's going to be the choke, and then once it starts there, it's the next position, and then up to turn it off. I'm not smart enough to use the 4-button Stihl things. The other thing that I really like about it, a lot of the professional saws are going to have the double failing dogs here, so you've got one on the inside and one on the outside, so that's a really cool feature. It makes it a lot safer when you're in a log, a lot more controlled, that you can rest the saw on, you know, both sides of the cut essentially. So that's a really nice feature on the MS261. Two more things about the MS261. I showed this skid plate here on the bottom. This is actually an add-on. A friend of mine, not Hank, cut into the oil tank of another chainsaw that I had, so the skid plate is a really handy thing to have. And then this saw retails for about $570 with, again, the 20-inch bar.
This is the Stihl MS291. This is not the professional model. This is kind of the farmhand, ranch hand, homeowner model. But a couple of features that I really like about it. One, it takes a 20-inch bar. 20-inch bar is the max you can go on this thing. I do like how Stihl uses the flip caps for their gas and oil, or fuel and oil. And so that really makes it a lot easier to remove the fuel caps and the oil caps, so you can put your bar chain oil and then your mixture here. I do like a couple other features as well. The 291, it comes in about 12 and a half pounds, something like that, so it's easy enough to handle. But can you see that little orange tab right behind this coil spring here? That's a cold weather shutter. You can actually take that out, flip it around, and push it back in, and it'll help the chain. It'll help the chainsaw operate in different temperatures. So I think that was a pretty cool feature for kind of a non-professional model. It's got the single dogs here. It's got a fixed oiler on it, so you don't have that like you do in that professional model. But it's a really good chainsaw. I think it runs fast. The power to weight ratio on it is like 305, something like that. So it's a fairly fast running chainsaw for, you know, just private use, I guess is the the right term for that. But I really like it a lot. It's 50 cc. I can't remember how much I give for it. Maybe $400 in that range, somewhere around in there. So I bought this after Hurricane Michael because there's a lot of trees to take care of when Hurricane Michael come around. So let's move on to a different brand.
Now we've got the Echo CS620P. This is going to be Echo's 60cc class machine. It's actually 59.8 cc. The caps are going to be still the twist-on caps with slots here, so you'll need to use your scrunch for that. I've actually added a Stihl D-ring pull handle. This comes on Stihl's Arctic models, the cold weather versions, and they're actually like snowmobiles and stuff. A couple other really cool features. Again, it's going to have the decompression valve, it's going to have the dual dogs, it's going to have the adjustable oiler here, and again, I've put skid plates on all my saws that I can actually find skid plates for. This saw is running a 20-inch bar right now. I actually bought the saw with a 27-inch bar. This it can run, Echo says, anywhere from 16-inch to 27
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I've actually heard of people using like 32 and 36-inch. I don't know if I'd do that much. I don't think I would push it that far. But overall, Echo was the first line of outdoor power equipment that I bought, as well as the first chainsaw that I ever bought. So this is going to be my kind of go-to guy for anything. After Hurricane Michael happened, this is pretty much what I use to cut almost everything. It weighs 13.2 pounds, I believe. So it's not that heavy, not that unwieldy to use pretty much all day, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, something like that, you know, just cutting. The nice thing about this bar, they come with the replaceable nose tips here from the factory. That's a really nice feature. It's more of a professional bar. So overall, like I say, the Echo is really going to be my go-to saw.
Yeah, a lot of differences so far. You know, the Echo, my buddy Tony over at Tony's Tractor Adventure, he's a big Echo fan. He uses Echo as well. So we got one more big Stihl chainsaw to talk to you about. So let's go ahead, and Brandon, go ahead and cover this one, will you?
Absolutely. We have the MS661 here. It's going to be the second largest Stihl saw that they make. The next size up is going to be the MS880, coming out with the 881 sometime in the spring, I think. This is, again, an M-tronic saw, so it's going to have the electronic carburetor. It's got the flip caps like Hank was mentioning. It has the 3-speed, or the three button switch here to start. The nice thing that I really like about some of these professional saws are that they have a more automotive style air filter with this pre-cleaner and then a pleated air filter. So I really dig that. Another thing that this has that Hank mentioned on his, it does have a cold weather shutter. So that makes it nice. You just move this from here to here. Again, it's going to have the decompression valve. This guy really needs it. It's going to be 91 cc's, so it's going to be kind of tough to pull if it didn't have the decompression valve. So that's a super great feature on that. Again, it's going to have the adjustable oiler. I've got the skid plate here. This saw actually is wearing a 36-inch bar and chain. Stihl is kind of different from what I've seen with Echo. Stihl is going to sometimes show one or maybe even two sizes smaller bars than a comparable Echo machine. Stihl says that this saw will only run a 16 to a 32-inch bar, but they sell it with a 36-inch bar. So I don't know what the difference is there.
Yeah.
A lot of these are sold with 36, or at least like a 28 or 32. But I put the big bar on it. I actually bought this saw used after Hurricane Michael. And the reason why I did it is so that it can run the big bar for those big trees if we ever have another hurricane. It's kind of like a gun. I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Yeah, sure.
So that's sort of the situation here. I've ran a few test cuts with a 24-inch bar. It does really well, so I am excited to use the 36.
All right, a lot of options to consider. You know, you can think about, do you need just the top handle all the way down to the professional 36-inch bar on that? And you know, all of them run different types of chain sometimes, right? Semi chisel, and
yeah. So there's a lot of things to consider just with the chain. all of my bigger saws, so the 261, the 620, the 661, I've actually converted them all to run 3/8 chain.
Yeah, sure.
So that I can use it, or it's basically standardized.
Yeah.
Now I've got a reel of chain, so now in that video that you were talking about that I did earlier, it's not just about shortening a chain, it's also about making custom chains.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've got a 100-foot roll of chain.
Yeah.
I can make
That's a good
anywhere.
video, by the way.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I had a good teacher. All I can do is, or all I need to do is, you know, just count out the number of links that I need,
Yeah.
just make my chain off my 100-foot reel, and then I'm good to go. So that's, you know, it's something really good, it's a really good thing to consider.
Sure.
Is standardization, so you're not trying to figure out which bar goes with which saw,
Right,
which
right.
chain, whatever.
Yeah, it definitely does make it more convenient if you're going to use two or more different types of saws for a project that you're doing. There's going to be a box pop up over here. It's going to have a little video underneath it, and if you click on that, you can watch some more videos at Hamiltonville Farm. And above that is the little white circle, and that's our subscribe page. We'd love for you to go check us out, subscribe to our channel if you like our content. Anyway, we appreciate you watching. Thanks, Brandel, for coming over. Help us as always. Always enjoy your company. We appreciate it. Go check his channel out, and we'll catch you on the next one. You guys take care.